Hello everyone, it's Sunday the 29th of March. I hope you're all doing well and being well looked after and looking after yourselves. It was great to see so many people joining in with our online communion this morning, and I hope you found that helpful, those of you who were able to join in. I hope others have been able to use the playlist that's on YouTube, and also the worship that Jeff has uploaded onto our YouTube channel as ways also of just kind of connecting in with God. He's the one in whom we'll find our comfort and our help and our strength at this time. So do check in with those kinds of things. This week we'd have been going into a week of prayer and fasting. We decided some time ago that the Lord was calling us into a period of time where we focused in prayer and fasting. So we plucked this particular week out of the diary for that. I think it's still good to be praying. I think we'll refocus a little bit. Some of the things we were planning just can't happen as a result, though we can still pray at home. But I think it has, my reflections on this are that there are some particular ways I think that the Lord was showing us to be praying at this time that are kind of more than just to do with our localized kind of things happening around our network and for us. And so I want to highlight the three things I think that are really key for us to be praying and focusing prayers on at the moment. Should you wish to fast, should you wish to do some disciplines around this, prayer disciplines around this, that would be great. But here's just some idea where I think the Lord really has been focusing us and is calling us to pray. Especially at this time. I'm going to read Ezra 8 verse 21. So Ezra 8 verse 21. There by the Ahava canal I proclaimed a fast, so that we might humble ourselves before our God and ask him for a safe journey for us and our children with all our possessions. Now I really think that the Lord is calling us to pray, and my thought around this, I preached on it a couple of weeks ago on a Sunday evening, was that actually I really feel the Lord is calling us to pray for protection, and that is clearly a massive thing now, isn't it? As we're coming to grips with this extraordinary situation with coronavirus, and how it's now coming close to us in terms of people that we know getting sick, how it's come really close to us in terms of being locked down, being restricted in our movements, for our own personal safety and the safety of the whole of society. So protection is a key thing that we need to be praying for, and under that the idea of protection, so Ezra called the people as they paused before moving out with God's call. They paused to pray for protection, and there were three things that he called them to focus on, and I've termed them as 3 P's: pilgrimage, people and possessions. And so he called the people to pray to God for the protection over their journey forward. And so I think that's something that we must be praying for at the moment. We must focus our prayers on our pilgrimage forward, our movement forward, and the movement of this nation forward, the movement of the nations of the world forward, given the challenges and restrictions of COVID-19, the virus that we're battling with and that has come upon us in this extraordinary way. So let's pray for protection over our pilgrimage, our forward movement. Let's pray for protection over those people who lead us in forward movements as well in our pilgrimage. Let's focus on praying those kind of things. Secondly, let's pray for protection over our people. So pray for protection for yourself, for your children, for your loved ones, for those who you're traveling with, who you're called to go with. Pray for protection over the people of your streets, your neighbours, your friends, your work colleagues. Pray for protection over people. And thirdly, pray for protection over possessions. What's extraordinary is that we take possessions for granted. We take the things that we have for granted, and actually now we're in a situation where we're really kind of finding real challenges on that. We take food for granted, and suddenly we've got to really rethink food, haven't we? We take certain things that we have and we possess for granted, and they're being really challenged at the moment. And I want to encourage you to pray particularly for our possessions, not that we would have lots of possessions, but that we'd make right decision in terms of possessions, that we'd make right decisions in terms of how we use our possessions, not for ourselves, but for others and for the blessing and help of others, that we'd be able to discern what we need and we don't need in our lives, and that we'd be able to do that well as churches and as a nation and as nations as well. So, three things that you can be praying for at the moment that can help to guide your prayers, and your prayers especially of protection, and they are pilgrimage, your journey, our journey, your journey going forward, people, those that we love and that are part of our lives, and the nation that we're part of, and the communities and everything going forward, and also our possessions, what we have and how we use what we have. So I hope that helps you in your praying. Do structure your prayers around those kind of things. My ongoing prayer for all of us is that we'd be able to follow Jesus in this, that we'd hear his voice and follow.